I want to start my comments with acknowledgement of the contribution of the hundreds of volunteers, community groups such as Off the Fence, Sussex Homeless Support, and the Churches Network, various donors and fundraisers, and those in employment who go over and above what is required, often at BHCT, BHT and St Mungo's. I try to involve myself in various ways, but my views are ultimately framed following services, the Conservative representative on the 3-councillor Brighton Centre Night Shelter working group. And it was here that I started learning the ropes in the good company of Councillor Moonan and Councillor Gibson, and witnessed some phenomenal work from volunteers and officers. So whilst today is not an opportunity to vote on the strategy itself, I can't in any good conscience do anything to embrace it at all. It's clearly not working, and so I won't even be noting it. I feel that strongly against it. I think that the right rough sleeping strategy would be a much more unpopular document. I think real battles need to be had if this problem is going to be solved. And quite frankly, I'd like to see the current document shredded and the existing managerial and facilitational approach scrapped. I don't think there should be a business as usual approach in constructing such a paper. And I think writing it and releasing it would take real guts, some of which was exhibited by this council in introducing litter fines and public space protection orders through this committee. I've got a few random thoughts in no particular order of importance. I think not tackling head-on street drinking and begging is clearly bad for everyone. It hurts everyone. A loving approach to a person in need is not to allow them to sit on the street and drink themselves to death. None of us want that, obviously. I'm not suggesting that we do. I think it hurts so many, including the retail and tourist industries, which provide many of the funds and job opportunities that are required to assist rough sleepers properly. And the same goes for something that was in the news last week, allowing tents on busy streets, any streets. The existing situation in Brighton and Hove is an avoidable national embarrassment and incredibly cruel towards those who need love, help and guidance. Not speaking out strongly against middle-class drug users who ultimately bring the drug dealers here is a huge mistake, as we've seen at the level in Brighton. Middle-class support for drugs is killing our most vulnerable. Middle-class drug facilitators need to be told this, a subject which was broached by Metropolitan Police Commissioner Cressida Dick last month, which I was delighted to see. Not tackling head-on the funding of drug dealers through what I think is a very selfish act of giving large amounts of cash to beggars is a tragedy. And more guts are required to say this. It's in the report, but it's in very small print. And if the only reason we're not doing this is because we care about the emotional reaction to those donating, we really need to think who we're protecting. Donations should go to the grassroots charities, obviously. They say it, we need to be saying it. Concentrating hostels and services in the city centre, clearly deliberate. I think it's a real mistake and a large driver of the circle of deprivation. And I say this with the success stories of George Williams House and Emmaus, where I visit lots, in mind. I think a rethink is required here. I could go on, I won't. So, to summarise, if we truly care about the people sleeping on our streets, and most risk of violence, and often lost to drink and drugs, it's time for tough love, not warm words. Thank you.